Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, we're working on the 2011 Razor 800, and we got the new belt here. I bought the belt thinking I was going to have to change it. Found out I don't think I need to change it. But it's a good idea to have a belt with you. Couple things though that I have learned, although I am admittedly a newbie to the sport of side-by-sides. I do know that you don't want to bend these much further than what the packaging they come in. And the other thing I know is I don't want to just throw this in the trunk with a bunch of other tools where it's going to get all beat up. So in the midst of that, I started looking around to see if I could figure out a place to put it on here where it would be safe. And I thought like behind the seat or behind the box and all that kind of stuff. I've seen people actually put them like right on their bars, but then they zip tie them and they get too small. I do know that you don't want to be zip tying these all the way closed. According to this belt person anyways, that I watched the Gates belt video and a few other videos, and all of them said don't bind it past a certain point. So I started looking around and trying to figure out where I could put this, and I have my fire extinguisher right here. So I started kind of messing around, seeing if I could just kind of lay it on top of my fire extinguisher and maybe do something like that. But then I realized up here in the roof, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a place for what I believe are supposed to be fairly small screws. And there's one here and there's one right here. You'll see what I'm doing with this later. But anyways, so I kind of put that up there and put it through the screw and was like, okay, that works. It'd be out of the way of the fire extinguisher and stuff like that. But then what do I use to hold it up there? So yet again, I went looking around, and what I found was this right here. Now that is to wind your extension cords around, and I have several of these that I actually don't use. I have like 3 or 4 of them. So I looked at that, and I looked at the belt, and I thought about putting the belt, hanging it like around it kind of, and seeing if I could do something like that. But the belt's a little big. But what I noticed was it actually sits across there like that just fine. So then I decided, okay, so what if I take this and put it up here and made it so I can screw the belt up on there. But then I was trying to figure out how to drill holes that would be at least similar in size. So I went and found a screw that would fit in there, cut the head of it off, and put a point on it. Then I can take the other end of it and screw right up here into where I'm going to screw it in at. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yet again, I'm just going by eyeballing after this. But I can take this and kind of figure out where the center of that is. In the center of that, I'm eyeballing to see kind of where it's going to sit nicely in here. It's going to be above my head, and nobody's ever going to probably even know it's there. And then hopefully I can see one. Alright, and since I'm having trouble seeing those marks, I'm going to put a paint pen on there. And we're going to try this one last time here. And I'm going to go this direction. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Alright, now I can actually see where those marks are, and they're real close to center, so I'm going to kind of take it and get it centered up best I can. but not quite there. So I'm just going to center, my mark is right here, so I'm going to put it right down, straight down below that, because side to side I got it dead on, but the actual part right here is the center. So I'm going to go ahead and drill it out in the center and do the same thing on the other side. And this is a big enough hole to where there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. So, we're going to try and dry fit this here. First of all, I don't know if I want to go handle to the back or handle to the front. I will say there is like a thing here that kind of gets in the way. I'm going to have to deal with it some other time, but I think for right now it'll hold, and it's got to go under the belt as well. So that is another question I have actually now that I'm looking at things a little closer here. So if I put this on here and it's right there, will these go all the way up? And I believe they will. So the next question is did I get the holes in the right places? There's some wiring in the way. And these are actually a little bigger than the actual size of what's supposed to go in here, I think, but these should fit fine. And then I have a mark on them so I don't drill through the top. Now that's obviously the other thing, if you don't have a top like this, but I've seen a lot of people with tops like this, and most tops have mounting places for things that are just like this. So this can go in to right about there. That one can go into right about there, and that should work. So now obviously I'm not going to have this with me, but I do have tools that are the equivalent to this. So I'm going to take this, stick it up in there, and we're going to go ahead and screw this one in first. My hand. What are we hitting on here? Something kind of hitting there a little bit, but not too bad. There we go. Alright. And that's not squished in there at all. It's not hitting on anything I don't want it to. It can move around a bit, so I may, I don't know, put a wire tie or something around it at some point. But I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm gonna go up a little bit more with this one because I can. And a little more with that one as well. There we go. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be able to see it very often, so it doesn't really matter. I don't actually think it looks too bad, and actually one of these days I may put a little bit of a cord or something on there, and we'll have a extension cord in here as well. Plus there's, you know, I feel like this, you could hang things off of there pretty easy, maybe even a helmet off the edge here. I don't know, I think there's lots of different things that you could do with this. And then the biggest thing is making sure that this isn't in the way of this, which it's not. I can get all the way around this with my hand. I can grab that, pull that out of there, no problem. So I'm happy with that. All right, there you go. Now you know. hopefully you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Now get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.